Spanning over 12 movies in the Halloween franchise, Michael Myers has racked up quite a number of kills. Today, I want to give you guys my top 10 Michael Myers kills in the Halloween franchise. Hey, what's up everybody? Nick here, and today I want to give you guys my top 10 kills in the Halloween franchise, and more specifically, Michael Myers kills. So no, this is not going to include anything from Halloween 3. Look, in my recent explosion of Halloween content on my channel, one of the comments I've gotten the most has been asking me to do a ranking of Michael Myers kills, my top 10. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, this would be a difficult list to put together because there's a lot that I really like. And then it took me about 5 minutes to put this list together because there's 10 that really stand out to me. So coming in at number 10 for me is going to be the neighbor, the trick-or-treat lady from Halloween 2018. Now, I remember this long shot in that movie being something they talked up before the movie came out. If I'm not mistaken, they showcased this footage at a convention, I think a Comic-Con or something like that got people really jazzed. Maybe it was CinemaCon. I don't know, but I remember the buzz about this online once they screened it to that audience. And I remember seeing this scene for the first time and being like, okay, this is Halloween. More specifically, this gives me Halloween 2 vibes. Now, I love this entire scene, but this specific sequence really stands out to me. The way it's shot by David Gordon Green. When you have the camera come up onto the porch and you can see Myers' face in the reflection on the glass before he goes around the side of the house while she's on the phone, comes up behind her as she's going to the window, unbeknownst to her, and he grabs her hair and just pulls her back onto the knife, and the knife just shoots through her neck. Like, that was awesome. I remember being in the theater and being like, okay, that's pretty good. I love the effects there. I love the performance by the actress. I love the way Michael is handled in this scene. This is a top tier Halloween kill for me. In its simplicity, its effectiveness, but also it's just memorable. Coming in at number 9 for me might not be one that makes a lot of people's lists, but hear me out here. And that's Kelly Meeker from Halloween 4. Now, similar to the last one I talked about, it's really the buildup in the entire scene that I love about this, although I think the kill itself is quite memorable. Could have used a little bit more carnage candy with it, but I digress. Look, the fact that Kelly's walking around and she's talking about, oh, we can watch some MTV while we wait for the cavalry, and then as soon as she lights that candle and you see Deputy Logan just all disfigured in the corner over there, and Michael just gets up from the chair. I love the way the music kind of builds, and he just grabs that shotgun, sticks it up through her, and then sticks her on the door. Now, I don't know how the logistics of that would work whatsoever. There's no way she would just be hanging on that door, at least not specifically that door we see in the movie, but I don't care. It's a super memorable scene, a super memorable kill, and easily top 10. Coming in at number 8 for me is going to be Nurse Deb from Halloween Ends. Now, I know this is really just cribbing off of Bob's kill in the original, but I don't care. It's still as iconic. I love this entire sequence, okay? You got the Corey Michael thing going on, and like, yeah, it's Batman and Robin, and they're just tag teaming. I don't care. The force behind Michael as he grabs her by the throat and slams her up against the wall before picking her clear off the ground and then just stabbing her. I mean, hard, to the point where she's not going anywhere. She is firmly pinned up against that wall. And Michael has this great moment where he just stares at her, like he did in the original movie. And that wide shot, when you see just how far above the ground she is and how small she is in comparison to Michael, I love the framing of that. This thing is brutal, it's memorable, it's got a splash of the iconic. I don't know. I love this thing. Coming in at number 7 is going to be the nurse from Halloween 6 in the very beginning of this movie. Now, I have talked about this scene before. A lot of people have. It's one of the standouts from Halloween 6. I think it has everything about Halloween 6 that's good in this sequence. When you have this nurse in this dimly lit hallway and you see Michael emerge from the shadows, and it's not a jump scare. As Michael gets closer, you see more and more of him, and he grabs this nurse and so effortlessly just puts her up on a spike on the wall through the back of her head, and then backs up as she's just like hanging there with her mouth open, and he does the classic head tilt. This shows Michael Myers is someone not to be messed with in Halloween 6. This again plays off of that iconic kill of Bob's. I don't care. I don't want to talk about the spike on the wall. I don't care how it got there. It's a friggin' awesome kill. Coming in at number 6 is going to be the entire firefighter sequence from Halloween Kills. Look, I don't know how you can make a list of top 10 kills or Myers moments in the franchise and not include the firefighter sequence. Like, this is Michael Myers turned up to 11. This is Michael Myers in his purest, most unstoppable form. The fact that he takes on this basically entire department of firefighters, it looks like, so seamlessly, so effortlessly, and so brutally, it's just incredible. The way they shoot Myers, the music, the backdrop of the fire, and how everything is glowing in this. I love some of the things they do with the camera, like the POV from the firefighters' masks and whatnot. It's just a great sequence. But at the end of the day, it just makes Myers stand out so much. He is a true threat, a demon in this sequence, and it is easily one of the best moments in the franchise. Beth from Halloween 6. Now, I've talked about this moment in particular many times on my channel because it still creeps me out to this day. And I remember the first time I saw this sequence, I was like, I don't like the way this makes me feel. And that's a good thing. That's what it's trying to accomplish. Look, the way this thing is handled, the technical artistry on display here is a sight to behold. It really is. You've got the cutting back and forth between Kara seeing Beth from a distance and Beth not being aware that Michael Myers is behind her. Then we get into slow motion, in the theatrical cut specifically, where Michael is just going to town, just like with every stab. I mean, it's brutal. You've got this crescendo in the music and the sound effects that just sounds like this disembodied demonic voice almost. And the sheer power and force behind the kill and in this moment itself is legendary. This is probably one of the freakiest moments in the entire franchise for me, so I don't know how it couldn't make a top 10. Now in 4th place is one of the most memorable kills in the entire franchise. I don't care what anybody says, and that is Nurse Karen in Halloween 2. Now, there are 2 specific reasons why this scene stood out to me as a teenager, and I'm sure you can deduce what those are. However, the sequence as a whole is just great. I love the fact that you're watching Bud die in the background, like in silhouette, and she is totally unaware. Now, it's also weird that she just decides to nibble on these grimy ass fingers, but I don't really care. It's also kind of funny. And then just the iconic drowning in this scalding hot tub as she is fighting for her life, and every time he pulls her up, her face is more and more damaged until the point where he drops her and her face is just completely scalded. And I think that this scene as a whole is one of the most iconic moments in Halloween 2. I don't think anybody thinks about Halloween 2 without thinking about this scene. It's freaking incredible. It's a super memorable death. Easily in the top 5. All right, so the top 3. These 3 were pretty easy for me to decide that they should be in the top 3, but their order was a little more difficult, at least with 2 and 3. And at 3 is going to be Cameron and Halloween Kills. And I just want to say, love or hate the Blumhouse trilogy, there's been a number of moments on this list, so they at least got a lot of the kills right. Cameron is the best kill they've done. Not because it's the most gory or anything like that. No, I just think it's the most memorable and most effective. The fact that he's absolutely beating the shit out of Cameron, like just treating him like a rag doll, and leaves him hanging over the banister and starts coming down the stairs. And I remember being in the theater and I was like, what is he gonna do? There's no way he's done with Cameron. Like, there's no way. And the fact that he grabs his head halfway down the steps and just breaks his neck just to mess with Allison, just to get under her skin and just piss her off that much more because Michael's a dick. I love it. I also was really impacted by it because I liked Cameron in Kills. I went from not liking him at all in 2018 to him being one of my favorite characters in the next movie. And of course, he gets the most memorable death, in my opinion, in that movie. Look, I'm as shocked as you guys are. If you would have told me 5 years ago that I would have Cameron on a top 10 kills list in the Halloween franchise when it was all said and done, I'd have said, you're crazy, let alone top 3. Coming in at number 2 is going to be probably the most iconic kill in the Halloween franchise, aside from maybe Judith, and that is Bob from the original Halloween. Look, this is the kill that's probably most often referenced with the original Halloween, and almost every movie has taken from it because this is when you get to see Michael's playful, kind of curious nature. I love the jump scare out of the pantry where he grabs Bob, lifts him up so effortlessly, stabs him onto the door, but then the moment where you just have the wide shot where he stands there and he just kind of tilts his head back and forth a few times before the scene is over, it's just a sight to behold. I mean, it really, really is. And yes, there are so many more kills in this series that are gorier, that are more brutal, but I'd be hard-pressed to find many others that are more iconic than this one. And I think this kill gives us Michael Myers as we know and love him today. Now, this number 1 has been my number 1 for a while, and it's probably going to surprise some of you guys, but if you've been following my channel for a while, you probably know what it is. That's Octavia Spencer's kill in Halloween 2. Look, ooh, buddy, okay, when I saw this movie in theaters, I knew from the opening sequence when we get this kill, oh, okay, this is the Myers we're going to get in this movie. Boy, do we. Look, I love everything about the hospital sequence. I think Michael is a freaking demon, a freight train. I think anything that comes in his way gets pulverized. But this specific scene in that entire sequence stands out to me, and it always has. There is something about her falling to the ground and trying to kind of scoot away, crawl away as Michael just slowly comes out. And I love how he looks at her and he's kind of like this and he picks her up and he just goes to town. I mean, the grunting of Myers, the sound effects of the knife every time it's going into the body, her screaming, the close-up shots of her face as it's bouncing up and down from off the ground and there's just blood coming out. It's insane. And then to leave the scene with the knife just firmly planted in her skull, man, this sequence is amazing. This is easily my favorite kill in the Halloween franchise. This is everything that Michael Myers is capable of in this one kill. I knew from the moment I saw this the first time, oh wow, that's impressive. And still to this day, it's damn impressive, and it's easily number 1 on my list. All right, so that's it. That's my top 10 Michael Myers kills in the Halloween franchise. There are a lot of great kills in this series that, of course, didn't make the cut, but I'm sure some of them make your guys' lists. So I want to know down below what your 10 favorite kills in the Halloween franchise are and why. What is the one that sticks out to you? Whatever that may be, sound off in the comments section. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the video. Please make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I'm pulling out.